Hello friends, Namaste. I'm Dr. Preeti Kohli, a consulting homeopathic physician, transformational coach, and co-founder of the AHA movement. And I'm joining you today from Mumbai. Today friends, I'm going to talk about the science of manifestation. And before I really get into that, I want to share with you a study, a research that was done in the last century. So back in the United States of America, it happened that when they were researching on the importance of exercise, they saw that a couple of housemates who were working in a hotel, the amount of work that they were doing was really a lot. And with that kind of work, with that kind of exercise, they should have been losing weight. They should have been much more healthier. Their heart should be beating so fast. And they should be happier people if they are exercising so much. So what they did was they did an experiment. Now these housemates, they divided into two groups. One group was actually told the benefits. They said the amount of work that you are doing through the day. If you are actually doing so much exercise, you should be losing weight. Your heart is beating so much well, it should be very healthy. You should actually be feeling happier. Your waist should be going down in size. All these health benefits are there with this amount of exercise. The other half of the housemates, they did not inform them anything. After a month of this exercise that they did, what they noticed was that these housemates to whom they had informed about this, their weights had gone down, their waists were much slimmer. They were happier doing the same work that they were doing. This experiment showed them that if we understand why we need to do something, what we need to do and how to do it, we do it so much well. The same amount of exercise, exactly the same kind of work had made a difference in their life. I want you to know this because we all talk about manifestation. We all know that we are creating our reality. But if we understand really how we are doing it, what is it that we need to do, and why we need to do it, then you will do it much better. So today, as I am going to talk about the science of it, before I actually go into the scientific aspect, I want to share with you a story. This story will be very easy for you to remember those points of manifestation. It will remind you those points. This story is of a story where there was in a village 3 years there was no rain. On the third year, the villagers decided to pray for rain. There was this little boy in a house, 4 years old. And this boy, as they were going out to pray for rain by the riverside, he started looking for his umbrella. The father said, "There's no need for the umbrella, my dear son. Let's go. We're getting late." He said, "No, I have to take the umbrella." And as they started then walking to the riverside, this beautiful child carrying this umbrella, there were other men who looked at him, who smiled. They were thinking, there's no rain for 3 years and this child is bringing this umbrella. I would like to extend this story. Even though it didn't rain that day, the child did not lose hope. He kept his umbrella clean and handy so that the moment the rain comes, they can all use it. Friends, this story really gives all the secrets of manifestation. Actually, as a child, we all know it. But somewhere going through the journeys of life, we forget our original self, our true self. There is so much dust that we gather, so many thoughts and beliefs that we gather, and we actually forget the power of our own selves, the power of our manifestation. So, this story, I'm going to remind you all the pointers that are there in the story as I talk about the whole scientific element of it. Friends, we all know we create our reality. If you are not creating it consciously, you're creating it by default. Which means that if you're not taking the decisions, if you're not paying attention to what is it that you want in life, it's being created the same way, the old ways that are there. And then we may feel like a victim. So in the last century also, science, as they were doing so many experiments, what they realized was that there are actually infinite possibilities. So we are living in an energy universe. You and me are energy beings. So the body is the more gross form, the emotions, the thoughts are more subtle, the spirit is more subtle. But all that is there even within us is energy, and all that is there around us is energy. The energy forms that we are is interacting with the energy outside, and this reality is being created. So, how is it that this reality is being created? The scientists came to the exclusion by the way of experiments. I'm not going to share details about the experiment here, but if you would like, you can go back and look at the double slit experiment. So, as they were actually researching, they realized that the same particle behaves in a different way. There are infinite possibilities that are actually there. It could behave in so many different ways. But the way that I'm actually looking at the particle, that is what is responsible in creating, in its behaving a particular way. So my reality is going to be created by the way that I'm actually looking at it. So the energy in me interacting with the energy outside. What is this energy in me? This is my state of being. The state of being, my dear friends, which is nothing but our thoughts and our emotions. When we have a certain thought, what they recognize is that thought actually moves the energy that's there around us. So our thought starts to move the energy so that it can start taking form. And our emotions. Our heart has the strongest electromagnetic field in our entire body. So the thought will move the energy, and it's the heart, my feeling, that is responsible for actually drawing that experience into my experience. It is responsible for drawing that experience into my reality. So friends, what is going to be important for us to really create the reality consciously is that we be clear as to what we want. We become more and more clear that what is it that you want to create. Otherwise, like I said, we are all creating by default. And as you do that, now why is it important to think, right? Now, right now there is already a reality. We are already living a particular life. Now, if I'm not paying attention to what is it that I want to create, if I'm not getting clear as to what is it that I want, that possibility does not exist for me. I would like to take an example of a person who's coming from a little poor background. Now, in their family, probably working in a city, for example, Mumbai, they've never been able to own a house. And this young person now wants to own a house. He dreams about that. I'm going to work hard. I want to own a beautiful house. Now, if he does not even think of that, very likely the way that he's already functioning, he will keep working in the same way. He will be knowing the ways that have been learned by the family, and he will just manifest the similar reality. So, firstly, when we recognize what we want, there is a clear intention that makes the possibility in the infinite field, in the field for me to actually have it. Till I don't see the possibility will not exist for me. It may be happening to other people, but for me that possibility is not existing till I actually don't see it. And this is something that the science also actually brought forth. They said that it's our thoughts which actually creates that possibility. If I'm not going to see that possibility, it does not exist for me. So that is the power of our thoughts. So in the story, now I'm connecting back with the story. In the story, this child, the village was clear. They're praying for rain. The intention has to be clear. What is it that you really want? Now, the second aspect, as I said, is that of the heart, the feeling. How do we actually feel about it? Now, supposing this young man again, who now wants to own a house, and he says, I would love to own a house. What he feels is very, very important, because like I said, that the heart has the strongest electromagnetic field. Now, if he feels that, oh no, but I really don't deserve it because my ancestors never had it. Am I even capable? Can it even happen to me? Or maybe it's better not to own a house. It's so difficult to maintain your house. Now, if these kind of feelings are coming to him, or maybe subtle thoughts, these are also subtle beliefs that we all carry. For example, I don't deserve it is not something that we all want to say, but it may be subconsciously there. So these kind of feelings we need to actually become aware of, because if I say on one hand that I want a house, but on the other hand actually I deeply believe that I don't deserve it, then I will not be able to attract it in my life. So it's very important, my dear friends, to really pay attention to how you are feeling. That's the most important thing. We attract things in our life when we have a clear intention and an elevated emotion. Going back to the story, this child, as they were going to pray for rain. He already had an elevated emotion. He believed that because of your praying for rain, the rain is going to be here. And he did not really give up hope on that. So his belief was completely there that because we are asking, it's going to be given. And that's really the law of the universe. Ask and it is given. Now, what to do in case we do not actually believe in it? You may become aware that actually I do not feel that I deserve it, or I do not have the confidence to really work that much and get it, or maybe some other subconscious belief that my parents never got it, why should I be having it? As you become aware of these feelings, my dear friends, I want you to remember that feelings or emotions are nothing again but energy. Now, we cannot actually deny these feelings. We cannot say, no, it's not there. I do not have this, okay? Let me just keep doing positive thinking. This is a place where a lot of us actually make a mistake. We say, I have to do positive thinking. Yes, definitely it helps to have a positive thought. But the feeling, the emotion is also energy. Emotions are nothing but energy in motion. Now, energy, as we know, can neither be created nor can it be destroyed. The energy actually needs to be transformed. So we need to become aware of it. We need to pay attention to our feelings. How is it that I'm feeling? And if I'm not feeling the deservability, okay, we need to work with this energy. I want you to now here remember that we are all powerful alchemists. We can transform our emotions. So what you need to do is you need to pay attention to it. Work on that belief. Some of these beliefs could be much deeper, could be coming from a lot of our past experiences. Sometimes it's just paying attention to these feelings that you will be able to transform it. For example, if you say, I don't deserve it, and then you ask yourself, why is it that I say that? No, of course I deserve it. So just the fact that you pay attention to it, You recognize that it's okay for you to let it go. This is actually really not making any sense. I deserve it. I will work for it and I will get it. However, on the other hand, there could be certain beliefs which could be much deeper. They could be coming from a long standing past experience. For example, you feel that you will not be able to take care of it for whatever reason, and there's a lot of past baggage around it. Or maybe your ancestors have faced a lot of difficulty and you're really not able to kind of turn around that thought. Now, it's important, like I said, that we need to transform this energy. So, to make peace with this past is important, my dear friends. Here is the time where you could take help of some of the therapies or meditation to actually look into this past. The past has shaped us. Now, if I am carrying this experience and I'm going to be looking at the reality just in this way, know that the other possibility I'll not be able to tap into it. So it's important to make peace with the past, okay? And in case you need, you can take help of inner child healing, past life regression, any of those therapies. This is really the place for it. This is why some of these therapies become important in our lives. So, elevated emotion is what will actually help you to draw this possibility into your lives. So, most importantly, I'll just say it again, the two things that are important for us to do is clear intention, elevated emotion. Now, connecting to this story, this child, they were clear, we are praying for rain, and this child had the elevated emotion. He knew that because we are asking for rain, it's going to be there. And he's also not disheartened by the rain not coming the same day. We need to recognize and keep that belief. We need to have that patience. I can here also take the example of when I say clear intention. Now, some people ask me here, how clear should it be? Should we actually go into the details? And I would like to give you one more example here. Imagine you're going to a restaurant and there are 20 kinds of dosas available. So you choose one particular kind of dosa that you want. And in that, when you're placing your order, you're actually telling all your likings. You're saying, I want this Mysore masala dosa, cheese dosa, but I want it really crispy and thin, like it should look brown from outside. And I want the masala little less, not too spicy. And the cheese that you put, don't make it, don't put a lot of it, just little sprinkles of it. Now, when you're actually giving the specification, the chef understands really well what is it that you would like. So the clearer you get, the better it is. The better the chef can actually make it for you. So yes, when you're asking, don't be shy. Let yourself actually pay attention, because when you're going to pay attention to it, you're going to have to visualize, you're going to have to pay attention to really what is it that you would like to eat, how is it that you like it, and definitely the chef will be able to then match it for your experience. So really give the details if you are clear what you like, okay? But the next part is that then sit back at the table. Don't keep going to the chef and saying, but why am I not getting it, but why is it taking so long? So sometimes there can be orders before you and it could be taking a little time, and that's okay. So it's important to keep that belief, keep that excitement, that waiting, right? When we are positive, when we are really happy, in a happy state waiting for it, that's what really helps us to draw that experience in your life. So really having also the trust and the belief is what is going to it's going to take for you to really keep those elevated emotions. So becoming clear and elevated emotions. Now, how is desire different from clear intention? A lot of the times we feel that because I want something, it should be there. Now, this is where the little difference is going to come. A lot of the times we desire so many things, but actually, what we are feeling is we are feeling a lack inside, or we are feeling like I don't really deserve it. So, pay attention to all of these things. Do you believe that this possibility is there? Are you clear? And do you believe that you deserve it? And what is your emotion? So, elevating your emotion, making peace with the past, accepting the past. Only then you can really transforming the emotion within yourself, my dear friends. And now I would like to talk about the role of meditation in this. Friends, the meditation practice is the most important thing in the science of manifestation, because let's see that we are all actually already living in our reality. So, for example, again, this person who is living in this family background where nobody has been able to buy a house. Now, he believes and he knows that this is his reality. Now, when we go in meditation, what happens is we are actually cutting off from the outside reality, closing our eyes. We are going within ourselves. And as we are going within ourselves, we start becoming no longer this personality. We start witnessing the personality. So, neither am I a rich person nor a poor person, nor am I a male or a female, nor am I residing in this city or that city. I am just going into a blankness. As we actually go into this blankness, then we start connecting to the field which has the infinite possibilities. You can take an example of, like I said, that there are infinite possibilities. These are like the radio frequencies, imagine, right? Now, I am already tuned into a particular radio frequency. I am already listening to the songs of a particular radio frequency. Now, being tuned into that, I cannot be listening to the songs of another frequency. So, I need to actually zone out of this. And that zoning out of this is something that really meditation is what is all about. We are disconnecting from this, we are no longer the personality. And the space we that start going into is the field, is this blank space that's there within all of us. That is where all the potentials are. And because now we are clear what we want, we can actually tune into that. So as you distance from this, start moving into the blank space. If you're clear as to what you want and you're already tuned into the happy feelings, the elevated emotions, the manifestation will start happening for you. So if you do not already practice this, when you practice the simple Anapanasati, maybe towards the end of it, you can actually practice connecting to that intention that you have, that you want to create in your life, and pay attention to what you're feeling. Let the elevated emotions come up. How do we do that? By imagining, visualizing that this whatever that you want is already there in your life, and let yourself feel how it would feel when it's already there in your life. This is really the secret of manifestation, my dear friends. Before I leave you, I'll give you a few tips and certain obstacles that we face. So, all of us tend to face these obstacles. The very common one is laziness. Friends, we all have been living in a particular way, and those ways have happened even before the thinking mind has come. Right in the womb, right in early childhood, right before the thinking mind got developed, before the age of 6, a particular scripting has already happened. Now, that script that we have developed, which the psychologists say happens before the age of 6 years, has survival benefits. So, even though we may not be happy in it, even though we may not be healthy and joyous with it, the biggest part of our mind, the unconscious, says, at least I have survived. right? So it actually tries to keep you there. So if you are actually not paying attention, like we said, you will be creating by default, which is you will be here. And so the laziness to really put an effort so that we come out of this is really the biggest obstacle. The second aspect is fear. Now, this has become our comfort zone. And to be honest, the biggest fear that we all have is the fear of owning up the power. One of the authors, Marianne Williamson, said that actually we are all scared of how powerful we are. And yes, of course, in past lives, a lot of us have also misused power when we had it. So somewhere, if it requires that you pay attention to your shadow side and you really see what is it that your fears are, addressing that and now letting them go will really help you to now create consciously. And the third obstacle, my dear friend, is lack of clarity. So, a lot of the times when I work with people, what they realize is that the fact is that they do not even know what they want. So, this is something that really takes the effort. We really need to actually start paying attention to what is it that we want. Otherwise, a lot of the times we find it easier to just keep blaming somebody for whatever is created in our lives. It will need us to take self responsibility and to say, yes, this is what I want, and I'm ready to take the responsibility of it. So, these are the three areas where you pay attention to, my dear friends. And finally, I would like to leave you with some tips. Like the most important thing I said, meditation. The second important thing is reading, taking the help of beautiful, amazing self-help books. Because like I said in the beginning, if you understand why you need to do it, you will keep getting tips from each and every book. Then you will do it better. A lot of encouragement keeps coming. You really see other masters doing it and then you get inspired. So really reading those books, Sangha, so meeting like-minded people, people who are already also on the same path and manifesting their reality. And the next one is really paying attention to your feelings. All of us, a lot of us have actually become thinking beings. We don't pay attention to our feelings. So start paying attention to feelings, and that's very, very important. Only positive thinking is not something that's really going to help you. And the last one is surrender. Know that when life is bringing something to you, it's coming for a reason. So, not having a controlling attitude is extremely important also for the manifestation. Thank you so much, my dear friends, and hope I have been able to contribute something.